Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So I am Holly Church Doyle. I am the Executive Director for the Woodbridge Chamber of Commerce. And welcome to the 25th Annual Mayor's Breakfast. Before we begin our program, I would like to invite up Jennifer DeJesus, Campus Operating Officer of Berkeley College, and our Chair of the Board, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jen. First, I would like to take a few moments to thank our generous sponsors that make this event possible and all of our chamber events throughout the year possible. WIC Companies, who has graciously supplied everyone with that handy notebook that when we were putting these out last night, when we were setting them up, people were taking them with them and they had already used them last night. So thank you to WIC Companies. Optimum is our centerpiece sponsor. The law offices of Nolan and Lang as our supporting sponsor. Northfield Bank, our partner sponsor. Craig's Plumbing and Heating. Hackensack Meridian JFK University Medical Center and Hackensack Meridian Raritan Bay Medical Center. Techie Geek, Federal Business Centers, Middlesex Water, Wegmans, Middlesex County Department of Economic Development, PSE&G, T&M Associates, Hotels Unlimited, Comcast, CME Associates, Acrashore, A-List Janitorial Supplies, Woodmont Properties, Elberon Development Group, and Minuteman Press of Edison. Thank you again for your generous support. Without the support of our community partners, these events would not be possible. And I would just like to take another moment to thank our 2025 sustaining sponsors. These sponsors committed to the Chamber a full year of sponsorship: Hackensack Meridian JFK University Medical Center and Hackensack Meridian Raritan Bay Medical Center, Northfield Bank, Craig's Plumbing and Heating, Middlesex Water, Monte Calvo and Bayshore Family of Companies, Techie Geek, Minuteman Press of Edison, A-List Janitorial Supplies, and Stone Mountain Printing. Thank you again for your contributions in 2025. After the program, we will announce a few upcoming chamber events and the all-important 50-50. Dee from Craig's Plumbing and Heating at table 5, I believe that is selling 50-50s. Right now, the pot, I believe, is about $300 to the winner. $350 to the winner, to be exact. So without further ado, I would like to invite Mayor John McCormick to begin the program.
Thank you very much, Holly. Holly thanked a lot of people, except she forgot one person, Holly Church Doyle. I think Holly does a fantastic job with this Chamber of Commerce. I've been around a long time and seen a lot of chairs, and I've never seen anybody work as hard and be as good at her job as Holly is. We have a great relationship with the Chamber. We work together on everything, and it shows because when someone's looking to come to a town, I believe that they check and do a whole lot of research. And when they see a chamber that's active and vibrant, I think that matters to them. When they see the cooperation between the chamber and the town, I think that matters to them. And just look at the success of this town. Look right out the window and you can see Hackensack Meridian Health building a gigantic corporate warehouse right in Metro Park. It's unbelievable. It's fantastic. I hated the project when it first happened because it was going to be apartments, and by the way, there's an office building. And I wanted an office building and maybe some apartments. And all of a sudden, Hackensack became the tenant, the main tenant, and took over the whole building. That's what we wanted. Hackensack's going to be to Woodbridge what Robert Wood Johnson is to New Brunswick. And Hackensack, they're not done yet, folks. That's not the only thing they're going to have in town, and I can't reveal anything, or Carol will actually kick me under the table if her legs are not that long. But they're going to be to Woodbridge just a fantastic development down there, and they're going to do more, and we're thrilled about it. I want to thank Bob Paulus and Wick Builders. They are a fantastic developer. We've known them for a while. They built the new Red Oak complex for seniors. We knocked down Stern Towers across from the train station. If you're going to design a downtown from scratch, the last thing you'd put across the street from your train station is a senior building with 55 apartments of people that only have 20 cars and that don't even move. So we moved them a mile away, Red Oak Senior Complex in Port Reading. It's beautiful. We were there a couple of weeks ago for a meet and greet. Everybody loves it. And then Bob put up the Park Apartments downtown, 100 some odd apartments where they belong, right next to the train station. And 2/3 of the people commute, so it's a wonderful development. He did the same thing over in Ford's. We bought the old Ford's Theater. We knocked it down, moved Olson Tower next door, and that's now called the Green Oak Apartments. Stunning apartments. Residents love it. Their quality of life went up tremendously, and he's building 100 and some odd regular market rate apartments there. But right now, his signature redevelopment project is about to open, which is the Cloverleaf Center on the corner of Route 1 and Route 35. We were told for years by the prior owner, I can't get anybody to come. There's nobody interested. In Route 1 and Route 35, two major state highways with $60,000, $70,000, 1,000 cars go by a day. And they're telling us nobody's interested. Bob took it over. He's got Sprouts, which is opening next week, October 3rd, 6:30 in the morning. Don't go, it's going to be a zoo. And 12 other stores, retail stores, statewide retail stores, big-time stores. Nasto's Ice Cream, Newark, 100 years in Newark with their plant. They never had a retail store outside of Newark. Their first one's going to be Woodbridge. There's Alpha Fit, Paris Baguette. There's a whole bunch of them. I can't even think of them all now. But we were told that's not developable, and Bob came in and did it. So I just want to thank Wick Builders and ask you to please give a round of applause to them. We have a few elected officials here. Greg Coughlin to my left, Assembly Speaker, one of my best friends in the world, is going to speak, and he's here today joining us. Charlie Kenny, former Woodbridge councilman, current Middlesex County Commissioner, is in the house. Charlie? Speaking of former councilmen, we have Jimmy Carroll, who works for us part-time, handles the special needs adult program over at Cypress Center. Jimmy Carroll. Of course, another former councilwoman you'll hear from now is Carolyn Ehrlich, but we'll get to that later. We have from our council, Dan Harris, our newest councilman. Dan's on the council about 10 weeks, 12 weeks. He replaced Greg Ficarra, who moved to Jackson to be closer to his wife's grandchildren. We also have our first ward councilwoman, Sharon McAuliffe. We also have a whole lot of people from the township of Woodbridge, and I'm not going to make them all. I can't introduce them all because they're all over the place, but I'd like to ask everybody who works for the great township of Woodbridge to please stand and be recognized. Oh, and one of them has a special day today. It's Nicolette Dunn's birthday. Nicolette. And now I'd like to turn the microphone over to Craig Coughlin. You don't know what it's like to be the mayor of a town and have one of your best friends and your local assemblyman be the Speaker of the New Jersey General Assembly. It's his 8th year as Speaker. And you know what that means to us? A lot of money. A lot of money. Because when it comes time to giving out the grants, I was in Trenton for 4 years, I know. If you're a regular assemblyman, you might get a couple $100,000. Or assemblywoman, you might get a couple $100,000. If you run a committee, you might get $500,000. If you're a little higher, you might get $1 million. For the past, I don't know how many years, we've gotten multi-millions of dollars in grants from Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin. And I'm his biggest advocate. I say all the time what a great job he's doing. He's in his 4th term as Speaker. The record was 3 terms. Now our Assembly goes back over 250 years. Who do you know that has a record that's 250 years old? Nobody. Nobody in sports, because there wasn't sports back then. Nobody anywhere has a record that's 250 years old except my good friend Craig Coughlin. 4th term, 16 years in the Assembly, 8 as Speaker, and he's on his way, with any luck, and I think it's going to happen, to another term as Speaker, and that's, let's see, $10 more million for Woodbridge.
No pressure.
No pressure. Ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the New Jersey General Assembly and a friend to all of us, Craig Coughlin.
To any of you who are mayors, council people, or know mayors or council people in other towns, he's only kidding. And if you're from Sayreville, Carteret, Perth Amboy, or South Amboy, you're going to get yours. Don't worry about it. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. Thank you for that awfully kind introduction, John. It is always special to come to Woodbridge. It is the place where I live. It's where we raise our kids. And I think for all of you who live here, work here, or do business with Woodbridge, you understand what a truly great township this is. So, I mean, the mayor talked about the relationship with the Chamber of Commerce, and so, Holly, thank you for what you do. Thanks to all those sponsors, too, by the way. But the truth of the matter is the relationship with the Chamber of Commerce is similar to the relationships that the township has with all of the other businesses and organizations and entities. For example, the Board of Education. In many towns, many towns, there's a tug between the board and the township. In most places, there's a blaming of the other for taxes. In Woodbridge, it works together. And it works together all the time. We share services together, we share revenue together, we make sure that the kids get everything they want. It's constantly expanding services. And I think for all of you who do business here, like Bob, you understand that Woodbridge gets stuff done. And I do get to talk to people throughout the state. And I can tell you that Woodbridge is a place that people love to come to do projects. Because the people who make sure that those projects get started, they shepherd them through the process, are smart, committed, work hard, and get it done fast. Or they'll tell you no. I think for all of you who are business people, you understand sometimes no is okay. And it sure as hell a lot better than let me look, I'll check, it'll take a while, and 2 years later, you're no place. Tell me yes or tell me no, and then get it done. And that's what happens in Woodbridge. And that's why I think all of you who are here today understand that it's a place to invest in, it's a place to bring your business to, it's a place to be proud to be involved with because it gets things done. And that happens because of leadership. And that happens because of my dear friend, John McCormick. John McCormick is an extraordinary mayor. He's somebody who gets it, who understands that. I mean, the man was the treasurer of the state of New Jersey. But his real passion is caring for Woodbridge. And you see that in everything that he does. And he's great. He has a tremendous partner, Carol Ehrlich. You'll hear about all of the sustainable things, all of the green things that Woodbridge does. In fact, they're so good that they stopped on their own. They stopped applying to the state to be the most sustainable community and all that stuff. It wasn't fair to the other kids. You know, it was like a major leaguer playing against a little league. It's like, oh, God almighty, let the kid win, will you? For crying out loud. But that's how good Woodbridge is, and that carries through to everything it does. I am shamelessly, as you can probably imagine, as you can probably tell, shamelessly proud of being a champion for Woodbridge, shamelessly proud to say that that's my home and I'm delighted to be there. It has nothing to do with the fact that I need to get reelected if I want to continue to keep that record. But it is the truth. And so it's a pleasure to be with everybody today. It's a chance to hear all of the good things that are going to go on in the future. And the future is incredibly bright. The planning is good. Moralewski's the pro. She has a real vision for these things, and we're going to make sure that Woodbridge continues to be the place that you're going to want to tell your friends, come and invest, get involved, be involved in a community. And you know what? Here's the really good news for everybody. If you want to move, you don't live in Woodbridge and you want to move, you can vote for me. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Craig. You did a very good job memorizing it exactly as I wrote it. I want to now introduce Carolyn Ehrlich. As you know, my best friend for a long, long time. I worked for the town in the 90s as the CFO. She was on the council. We did a whole bunch of great things together. And was my chief of staff in Trenton. Came back here. She's a chief of staff again, left the council, and has done phenomenal things. This breakfast, every year around March or April, the chamber calls and says, we need a topic ask Carol, what's the topic? She tells me what the topic is. She says, what do you think? I say yes. You have to just say yes because you know it's going to be good, and her office is right next to mine, and if I say no, it's just hell for the whole week. But Craig said it, and I was going to say it, but I'll repeat it. For years, we were the sustainable champion in New Jersey. She brought that idea to me years ago, 18 years, no, almost a little less than 18 years ago, and said there's this competition for the most sustainable town in the state of New Jersey. She says, I want to go in it. I said, one condition. If you go in it, you have to win it. Because I'm a little bit competitive, just a bit, and I would not want to go in and come in, 10th to Mahwah or Ringwood or some crazy town. Woodbridge came in 10th. That's not good. So we got in it and we won it. And we won it again and again. And then one year they said to us, we're getting tired of you winning it. Why don't you take a year off? We took a year off. We didn't win it. The dumbest thing we ever did, because then I was saying 12 out of 13 and 13 out of 14 and 14 out of 15. I would have loved to say every single one. But then, as Craig said, it got so bad that we got so many points and we were doing so many things that they didn't even think about. That they didn't even know how to give us a grade on things we were doing because they were so advanced and so off the charts that we finally said it's really time to get off it, get out of the competition. Carol's still the chair of the board, which is great for them. But it's all because of Carol and it's all because of her leadership. And she has embraced the whole environmental concept and the green concept. And when she said, we're going to do this year's on CPACE. I don't know anything about CPACE. I can barely spell CPACE. But it's a great program because when she explained it to me, it's a business-oriented program where the town government can help business save money. That's what we should be doing. And after that, I can't tell you much about it, but we have a whole bunch of smart people here who are going to tell you. But from what I know about it, it's good for businesses. And I'm glad we're filming because there's a couple dozen businesses here, but there's hundreds more going to watch this on TV. And now I'd like to introduce the architect, the person behind everything we do environmental, most everything we do in town, Carol Nerlich.
Thank you, Mayor, for always giving me a very, very super duper great introduction. And thank you to Holly and the Chamber for allowing us to make this presentation here today. So a while back, Angie from Northfield Bank invited me to come to the bank, and they were having a talk about something called CPACE. I had no idea what it was, as probably just about everybody in this room knows about CPACE. But it's green, and it's Angie, it's Northfield, so I went. And as I was sitting there listening to it, I said, oh my God, this is an amazing program. This is something I have to share with the members of the Chamber of Commerce. It's something that I have to share with our people who own buildings in the town, our developers. I want the word on this to get out. For everybody who has, if you're a developer, so many of you, you get your funding, and then you get to your point where there's a gap. Now what do I do? Is this ruining the project? This program will help you. I've had people who own buildings, office buildings, apartment buildings in town, and they've come to me and they say, we want to upgrade, but we don't know how to do it. We don't have the funding for it. This program will do that. So I'm sure you're going to really, really love hearing about this. The one part about this program, and it's all I'm going to say, is that to pay it back, it becomes part of your taxes. And it's just another line in your tax bill. And it's steady. It can be paid out over 30 years. It goes with the house. So even if you sell, it's still on there. So I just want to introduce Rich Lorenzen. Rich, he's our tax collector, and he's going to be doing all of the work on this program. Then we're also, everybody is talking about the cost of electricity now. And so we have an NJEDA representative and somebody from PSE&G who are going to tell you about some of the unbelievable programs that are out there to save you money. And then the last thing, some of you because we didn't have a lot. So some of you on your tables have this, which is called the
Green Construction Certification Program. So there's LEEDs for builders, there's Energy Star for builders, and now there's a Green Construction Certificate for our builders. And it's a checklist, and as you do your building, you check off what you've done, and you'll get points for it. And then we'll give you a green certificate. The mayor will come and give it to you. We'll have Channel 35 come and tape it. But even more important than the certification is this is a learning tool. And in the back there, Nicole and Kush, they're part of my team. They put this together. And they're links to some of the most incredible things like green, sustainable concrete. You know, what is that? How do you do that? Where do you get that? Those kind of issues. So please take a copy of this, share it with your friends, other developers, and if you want more, let me know, and I'll give you more. And we're also on the Greenable Business website. You can find this there. So to start off the program, I would like to introduce Max Frank from NJEDA. So I think I must have had, about 100 emails with you as we were...
a lot.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
So what was happening is, as Woodbridge tends to do, we were coming into this program at the very beginning of it. And so we were kind of your pilot, testing us on it. And then we had one thing, there had been an ordinance, and we were using the old ordinance we didn't know. And the council passed an ordinance, and then we updated the ordinance. So we had to do another ordinance, and back and forth. But now it's live for us, and it's live for you. And I'm looking forward to having you tell us all about it. Max?
Stand at the podium. Awesome. I'm not a big microphone guy, so, pardon me if I'm too close or too far. But first and foremost, thank you everyone for having us here. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Carol, obviously. Thank you all of you guys for being a community member in Woodbridge. Definitely one of the easier municipalities to work with in the state. I am Max Frank. I am on the clean energy team at the EDA. I am joined to my right by Ahmed, who is my tremendous manager. He will tell you a little bit about some other stuff we have going on. But I am the architect of the Garden State CPACE program, which is a statutory program that was authorized back in 2021, and it took some time to get to where we are now. The program fully launched about a month ago, but earlier this year we started opting in municipalities. And now we have about, I want to say 7 or 8 municipalities fully onboarded. As you can imagine, we're not a marketing team, so it's not so easy to get the word out there to municipalities. But you guys were very proactive, so thank you. You were tied in the first to do it with New Brunswick.
Only because you made us do 2
Only because I made you do 2 ordinances, which is my fault for having the wrong ordinance on the website. Sorry. Can only do so much. So what the program is, I guess, first of all, by show of hands, who here owns commercial real estate or is a tenant or knows someone who owns or is a tenant? Let's see some hands. Yeah, so a good chunk of people here. And commercial real estate in this case is not just your offices or warehouses, but it includes multifamily. It technically includes condos with the caveat. Agricultural, probably not much of that up here though. Definitely useful for South Jersey. And even nonprofits and state and county land. Doesn't really work with municipality land for obvious reasons that you'll understand as we go. But if you are an owner or a tenant of commercial real estate, then you could use this program that is offered by EDA and now, again, officially live. And that Woodbridge is already opted in makes it a hell of a lot easier to get projects going. So the program basically, well, the acronym is CPACE, C-P-A-C-E, in case you can't spell it. Just throw that out there. Stands for Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy. And the genesis of this program was probably 15 or so years ago to really help fill a gap in the capital stack of commercial real estate development and really cater towards clean energy, renewable energy, energy efficiency, EV charging, stuff like that. New Jersey also has resiliency as an eligible improvement, which is great. We're one of the few states that have it so far. And the program enables commercial real estate owners to undertake eligible improvements like the ones I just talked about. And I want to flag that energy efficiency is really broad. It covers insulation, doors, windows, HVAC, more efficient uses of things that may not be generally thought of as renewable or clean, like propane and natural gas, as long as it's more efficient from the baseline. So very broad categories. But it enables you as a commercial real estate owner or tenant to undertake those improvements and then repay that investment through a special assessment on your property tax bill. And you may ask, why do I have to go do that when why not just go to my bank and get a loan like I would for any other thing, right? The answer is, by having the municipality participate in this program and collaborating between the municipality, the state, a private lender, and a property owner or tenant, then you basically get this as a special assessment, and as a special assessment, it becomes a municipal lien on the property, just like taxes. And as effectively a tax, you'll have a capital provider, all private capital, who will be approved by EDA, who would be more willing to underwrite at a lower rate comparable to traditional financing. The reason for that is because it becomes a senior lien, and if you're familiar with liens and securities, it's more secure for a capital provider. It is effectively senior to all of your other private debt, but kind of this weird thing where it's like senior but junior to taxes. Really only relevant for taxes in the event of defaults, but honestly very rare in the world of CPACE, just because a lot of the capital providers like to underwrite these deals where the energy efficiency savings are sufficient to pay for the debt service, the amount you're paying as the special assessment every quarter when you get your property tax bill. So in New Jersey, we have a pretty robust pipeline. Like I said, the statute was enacted a few years ago. It took some time to get to where we are, but now we have a hope that we will close at least $100 million, if not more, over a few projects, but probably half a dozen projects. So pretty big deal. The program has no minimum or maximum dollar amount. You could use it for $1, or you can use it for $1 billion. You just have to find a capital provider, a lender, who will be willing to extend you the financing and work with you to meet terms, to work on terms that you guys both agree with. The rates are, again, comparable to traditional financing, and for that reason beneficial if you understand capital stacks. The terms are up to 30 years, which is a big plus. So your debt service, your quarterly payment in New Jersey, your quarterly payment is significantly reduced because you're paying a lower rate over up to 30 years. And you can basically tie in, again, energy efficiency, renewable energy, water conservation. You can raise your building if you're in a floodplain. All of that is eligible costs through the program. The program covers up to 100% of those eligible costs, including the hard and soft costs, which would be architect fees, lawyers, engineers, etc. And also it covers the financing fees and the program fees. So you can basically do all of this without any upfront capital outlay, which is a tremendous plus and really kind of the first of a kind for the state of New Jersey, and 15 years ago, first of the kind for any state in the country. I don't want to bore everyone. I want to let others talk, but happy to take any questions. Tremendous program and definitely worthwhile looking into if you want to undertake any kind of retrofit or even new construction. And it works for refinancing.
So our next speaker is Joseph Lau from Lord Cap Green, and he is an example of a capital provider. When I was first still trying to understand and figure out this program, because this is Mayor's world, it's not really my world, just the green part about it, I invited Joe to be on my Greenable Woodbridge TV show. And it was really during the question and answer of from that show that I started to comprehend this program. So thank you. And if anybody wants a little bit more in depth about this, and I think in more English, because if I understood it, anybody can understand it. Just go on the Woodbridge site, and it's on there somewhere. So Joe?
No pressure at all. Yes, thank you, Max. Well, thank you everyone for attending. As a lifelong New Jersey resident, now that I've heard everything about Woodbridge, I need to go home tonight and tell my wife we're moving. So you picked up, you picked me up if nothing else. But thanks for everyone for taking the time, and thank you, Max, for giving the introduction. As Carol had mentioned, that we at Lord Cap Green are a private lender that participates in CPACE programs. So we operate in more than 30 states, as many of the other capital providers that you would interact with in New Jersey do. Really, our purpose is to let Max do all the hard work up front to get the program established, as he's done, and really come in now and assist directly the property owners. So, as you said, the entire purpose of this is being able to provide financing for a long period of time at a competitive interest rate. And these days, that's 8 to 9%. To allow you to do all the various upgrades for water, energy, resilience. Many of the things that we know in even the best of times can be challenging from a CapEx standpoint to realize savings, but also recognize that if you can't pay it off over a long period of time, it's more challenging to save that money. So I don't think I'm saying anything crazy that everyone in this room wants more sustainable buildings, wants to reduce their energy costs, but it's how do we do that effectively? And that was really the purpose of establishing the first CPACE programs, and all the work that's been done in New Jersey is really to ensure that there is an adequate excess source of cash, all privately funded, that can help you to achieve those objectives on existing buildings. At some point, it would include new construction. I know that the EDA is working on that as well, just to try to make this as efficient as we possibly can. People get lost whenever we talk about capital stacks and bank lending versus what we're doing, but really the whole purpose here is to create an economic environment where you can borrow as competitively as possible, build to the highest standard, to continue to give accolades to the town, and know that you're doing good in the process, but you're not having to pay an exorbitant amount to do so. So frankly, that's where we come in. So the way we look at this, we and our competitors, is really that in the early stages of a project, you may be already working with your bank, you may be just plotting what a project is going to look like and exploring what the capital would be. You would reach out to one or more of us, and we would start to talk you through what the structure would be of this, what the cost savings versus the costs would end up being, and how this can be incorporated into the structure. And as was said earlier, the whole purpose is getting to a quick answer to allow you to continue to move along with whatever your project may be. It's not always the best source of capital. We like to think it is, but certainly the intent is for it to always be a competitive source of capital, and in a way that continues to give you flexibility whenever you own your building or your lease, you have a ground lease and you're leasing from someone else. So I like to think the process is reasonably simple. You approach the capital provider. We help look at the work that's being done. We help you with an application process for the program, who's the ultimate party to sign off on it. And then our capital behind us are long-term investors who are very interested in achieving the kinds of results that you do. So we would work collaboratively with you, help you determine all of the steps that are necessary, work with lawyers, work with engineers, work with all the counterparties that are necessary in order to close this. And as Max said, the intent is always to make this as little or $0 out of pocket as you can. So when we look at financing, it's typically up to 25 to 30% of the value of the building, which gives you a lot of room to move for upgrades and enhancements to an existing property that's in place, and really then be in a position to provide that capital in a way that is consistent with your other lenders, quick to come to the table, because we know, especially these days, construction costs are rising all the time. So to wait or to delay you isn't going to be helpful to anyone. And then to get this financing in place so that we just become part of the capital structure. And frankly, even though we do everything for 20 to 30 years, we're available to speak to, but you're never going to want to talk to us if you don't have to. So it's raise the money, pay back the money over an extended period of time. The other thing that I would add to this is that we talked about tenors of up to 30 years, so financing for 30 years, but typically there's also an upfront period when you're doing the construction. If you're repositioning or you have some type of time frame necessary before you want to be able to start making payments, usually payments will end up being deferred or cash put in upfront through our capital so that you don't have to make payments till the work is done. So we're not putting pressure on the cash flows of the building while you're in the process of doing what may end up being fairly significant work. So little to no cash up front, the intent being to give you runway so that you can get the work done, get it done to a high standard, model it so that you're saving money in this high cost environment, and certainly no one expects that energy prices are going to go down in the future, and giving you a long period of time to be able to pay that back. And I would also reiterate what Max had said. The other important element of this is, and Max and Carol, this runs with the land. So part of the reason why we like this as a tax assessment, certainly, working with the city for payments is very efficient. It's efficient to the property owner, it's efficient to us, but also then puts us in a position where we're able to leverage what we call non-accelerating financing. So you have a building, you do the upgrades on the building, you may hold that building for a year or 100 years. If you end up selling it, then this financing actually moves along with the property to the next owner. So in a world where we know it's hard to sell, we know it's hard for people to find financing for acquisitions, this is just another tool to simplify the process for you and maybe give you more options. So I'd like to say that's it, but I mean, there's always more. I'd love to field any questions now. I'll be around afterwards. Happy to give out our information and talk to the folks here as well as anybody that's watching this online to see how we can help you out with your projects. Thank you.
Before we move away from the CPACE program, I just want to give credit where credit is due. Just as in Woodbridge Township, there's really nothing that happens here without the mayor's fingerprints on it. If you're in Trenton and if a new law is getting passed, it won't happen without the support of the Assembly Speaker. And Craig Coughlin has been the supporter of so much legislation for sustainability and for green initiatives. I couldn't even begin to list it all, but over all the years that he's been there, the list keeps growing and growing. And part of the legislation that he helped enact is the NJEDA CPACE program. So thank you very much, Speaker. Now, this one probably impacts just about everybody in the room because everybody knows it's one of the hottest topics going on in New Jersey, and quite frankly, all over the country, is the rising costs of electric bills. They're just going up and up and up. And the PSE&G, many people don't know how many programs that they have that can help you save money. So in order to tell you about that, we have Stu Fox, who is the Energy Efficiency Program Support Manager for PSE&G. Stu?
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to pivot a little bit away from CPACE and talk about energy efficiency and your energy bill. So my name is Stu Fox. I'm an Energy Efficiency Program Support Manager at PSE&G. My role is to work with you to identify opportunities to improve energy efficiency and then help you take advantage of our energy efficiency incentive programs to lower the cost of implementing these projects. So I focus on commercial real estate and multifamily apartment buildings, but there are other members of my team, and they have their own industry segments. So we have a bunch of incentive programs, and if I tried to run through them all, you'd either head for the exit or check your emails or fall asleep, depending on how much coffee you've had up to this point. Instead, I think I'd like to share just 5 bite-sized pieces of information. If you remember 1 or 2, that would be awesome. So I'm going to jump right into just 5 topics that I've learned over the past more than a year working in this program, and I'd like to share some of these facts with you. So first, let's start off by saying that PSE&G really wants to be your trusted energy advisor. We say that a lot, but really, what does it mean? It means, we're not going to sell you a product or a service. We're going to listen to you and learn about how you use energy right now and what your plans are for the future. And then we're going to offer you our financial and technical resources to help you use energy more efficiently and lower the cost of upgrading equipment and reduce your energy expenses. Second point I'd like to make is that you don't need to own a large facility or consume a whole bunch of energy to benefit from our energy efficiency programs. We can help you lower the cost of installing LED lighting or lighting controls, smart thermostats, and many types of equipment that are relatively low cost but can impact your energy efficiency. So we've got a program for that. Again, it doesn't need to be a major piece of infrastructure or HVAC equipment. Third point, we can help you reduce the upfront cost of large energy efficiency projects. We have what's called our on-bill repayment program. We call it OBR, like acronyms where we are. We pay a portion, sometimes all of the upfront costs, and then you pay us back over a 5-year period at 0% interest. So the goal here is to use the energy savings from the project that we're helping to finance to basically pay for the equipment. So after the equipment is paid off in this 5-year period, then the project has a positive impact on your cash flow throughout the remaining life of the equipment. Point number 4 is you don't need to replace equipment, actually, to benefit from our incentive programs. We have a set of programs that are really designed to uncover low-cost or no-cost energy efficiency measures. A lot of my commercial real estate customers are really excited about these opportunities. We get in there and we identify measures at no cost to you to lower your energy expenses. So we actually pay our engineering vendors to identify equipment at your facility that's wasting energy, either because the settings aren't correct, there are worn out components, or perhaps there's just maintenance issues that need to be addressed. So again, we can work with you to uncover these opportunities, even low cost and no cost opportunities, to reduce energy expenses and improve efficiency. And last point is that our programs are designed to improve the energy efficiency of existing buildings. If you're involved in new construction, which I get a sense that some of you are, that's really outside the scope of our programs. New construction and total gut rehabs, you need to go to the New Jersey Clean Energy Program or other opportunities, other programs that we've been discussing here. So to sum up, we're your trusted energy advisor. We can help you with the small stuff. On-bill repayment gets you money at 0% interest. We can make existing equipment run better with our resources and technical expertise. And existing buildings are not our thing. We're into existing buildings are our thing. Actually, new construction is the other programs. So please use our money to save energy and bring down those energy expenses. I know it's been a difficult stretch with increasing prices, but please use our resources to find and uncover opportunities for energy efficiency, and it will be a great return on your investment and well worth your time. So please contact me or anyone. We actually have a table over there with some additional information. You can speak to Jean Marie as well. And please reach out to us. We want to be your partner and help you save money. Thanks very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Stu. Our next speaker and our last is Ahmad Chaudhry, who is NJEDA Sustainable Business Programs Manager. So come on up. More savings.
Good morning, and thank you all for having me. I'm really grateful to be here, and especially as part of the 25th. That's quite the milestone for an annual Mayor's Breakfast, so thank you for having me here. I'm going to cover additional programs that the NJEDA offers that can hopefully be of support to you. My colleague Max earlier covered the CPACE program in depth. In addition to CPACE, we have a number of additional offerings that we provide through the NJEDA. One of the key programs that I manage is the New Jersey Clean Energy Loans Program, and that's essentially it's a federally funded program through the state Small Business Credit Initiative, and it can provide anywhere from $250,000 to $10 million loan that is low interest. So it's a co-lending program. You have to work with and select a private lender, and that private lender would offer at least a one-to-one match with the EDA loan. So at most, the project cost would be $20 million, anywhere from $500,000 to $20 million, and our interest rate would be 3% below the private lender's interest rate, whatever that is. And in addition, we also have bonuses if the project or company is located in an overburdened community. There's an additional 1% interest rate reduction, and if the business is a minority, woman, or veteran-owned business, there's also a further 1% interest rate reduction. So you could achieve upwards of 5% lower interest, as low as the total loan could be 0% interest if the private co-lender you're working with is charging a 5% interest rate. So that's just one example, but some of the other key initiatives, I want to get into grants because I think that's the money you don't have to pay back, and I'm sure more people want to hear about those as well. We have, for example, the NJ Cool program that is also can support energy efficiency upgrades and refrigerant replacement, switching your heating systems into more sustainable alternatives. So that program, once you demonstrate that you are either switching your heating system, for example, replacing your boiler with a heat pump, or switching your refrigerants from high global warming potential refrigerants to low global warming potential refrigerants. Once you meet those requirements, you can get up to 50% of your project costs reimbursed for making those changes. And the awards are anywhere from, I believe it's up to $1 million is the maximum grant award amount, and it covers 50% of your project costs. That's one program, and we're currently working on another iteration of this program that hasn't been publicly announced yet, but be on the lookout. There's another much bigger grant program that we're planning to launch if our board approves it next month. That will also offer additional, very generous amounts of funding, grant funding, to support building retrofits that can help you achieve lower your energy usage, lower your energy consumption, and as a result, lower your energy costs. So be on the lookout for that. Some of the other programs we have include the NJ Zero Emissions Incentive Program. That will help pay anywhere from $15,000 up to $175,000 in a voucher to cover the cost for your acquisition of a medium or heavy duty zero emission vehicle. That program is launching its third phase. There's going to be a webinar next month, so I encourage you to look it up if you have a fleet and you want to switch to greener alternatives. This is definitely a great opportunity for you to lower the cost of acquiring those vehicles for your business. And it's usually oversubscribed every time. It's the third phase of it, so it's clearly very popular. So definitely encourage you to take a look at that program as well. In addition to all of these programs, I'm also going to just very quickly give a quick glimpse of some of the small business grants that we offer. One is the Main Street Acquisition Grant, and I'm going to use my cheat sheet here because I don't actually manage these programs. So just want to make sure I'm giving you the right info. The Main Street Acquisition Grant Program, that will provide reimbursement in closing costs up to $50,000 to small businesses that are purchasing a commercial property. The Small Business Lease Grant, it'll give 2 grants to cover 20% of your total annual lease payments. And there's also things like the Small Business Improvement Grant, through which 50% of the costs up to a maximum of $50,000 can be covered by the EDA for you to make improvements to your building, to cover the costs associated with purchasing new fixtures, new furniture. So there's a lot of these great resources that the NJEDA has available, both financing programs at very low interest rate, very unique creative models like CPACE that Max covered, as well as voucher programs, grant programs that can help really reduce your costs for operating a business, for switching to greener sources of energy. A lot of these programs like NJ Cool, like NJ Cells, they will cover on-site solar generation and the installation of solar, for example. They will cover heat pump installation. They will cover energy efficiency improvements. So there's many ways for you to reap the potential benefits of the various offerings that we have. As I mentioned, I manage some of these programs, but not all. So if you have questions, definitely reach out to me or my colleague Max. We'd be happy to get you more info or get you connected to the right people if any of these programs are of interest. And I haven't even scratched the surface. There's so much that the EDA has. So please go to our website, look at all the various offerings that are out there. And we're constantly launching new programs every month, if not every month, then every other month. So please be on the lookout for more programs that are going to really help you save money in the form of both financing and grants. Thank you.
Can I have
Yes.
We literally have free money, so come get free money.
Thank you very much to all the panelists. I can look out sitting at the dais and see people are actually paying attention. Very few people on their phone, very few people talking. This was a very informative session. I do want to thank John Haggerty, our communications director, Megan Kushba, Kelly Walsh for everything they did to put this program together. The only thing nobody mentioned, but it is more expensive to do this program everywhere but Woodbridge. Because we're one of the first ones, tied for first, we get a special discount. And anybody who is watching TV from a different town, there's a spot on the form that says, how did you hear about this program? When you put, I saw it on TV 35, or I attended the mayor's breakfast, and it's not a Woodbridge project, there is a quarter-point VIG payable to the township of Woodbridge. And Carol will be at the closing to collect that check. But seriously, there's people hanging around. These are phenomenal panelists, except I hate the guy that reads his phone. Like, I can't do that. How many of you can read your phone and then get your speech from I hate that. But this was great. This was a phenomenal, informative program. I think we've been doing this for a long time with the Chamber. This is one of the best I've ever seen. So thanks once again to the panelists. Thanks to all the people who sat through this presentation who are now going to answer your questions. This just has been wonderful. Thank you, Carol, for the idea. Thank you, everybody, and thank you to the Chamber of Commerce for hosting this. Holly, you want to come up and make somebody rich?
Thanks, Mayor, and thank you to all of our panelists. Take advantage of these programs. I can speak to the EDA. The Chamber has taken advantage of 2 aspects of free money. So, absolutely, it's free.
It's free money.
So take advantage of these programs. Thank you to Mayor McCormick, Carolyn Elrick, Assembly Speaker Craig Coughlin, and everybody who attended today. We have some people that would love to talk to you. I'm sure the panelists would love to stick around and have a little conversation, grab more food, grab more coffee, Couple of upcoming events. October the 9th is our annual Chairman's Awards Dinner. That's where we have the opportunity to recognize businesses and individuals for their outstanding contributions to the community. There are some people here today that we are recognizing at the award dinner. Our Corporate Citizen of the Year is Hackensack Meridian Health. And our Member of the Year is Mike Bloomfield from Techie Geek. He is not with us today, but we also will be honoring with our Nancy Drum Community Service Award, Detective Michael Harris. And that's at the Delta Hotel, right on Route 1 in Island. And then, December the 8th is our annual holiday brunch, also at the Delta. All information on all of our events can be found on the Woodbridge Chamber website.